Hey folks, this is Brian. A little different venue this morning. I was down in my room earlier recording my adventure recap, GM musings video for our session 11, which went last night. And when I got done, I realized that I had my headset plugged in, and so there wasn't any audio with the video. But I got time for when the place I go to get my state inspection done was opening up, so we'll try it from my car, see how that works. I know my phone doesn't have a lot of memory in it for holding the video, but the line here is the longest I've ever seen it, so I figured, Memorial Day weekend there wouldn't be a lot of people still around, but there are. Anyway, session 11, which is session 6, I believe, of chapter 2, a troll raid. The party, we left them in the cave entrance where they had fought the giant beetles, and at the time, as I recall, they were going to set up the Asari's market stakes to provide some kind of protective area, since it acts kind of like warding. But the party was talking about, we don't want to stay here overnight, and it's getting late now. Maybe we should just pull chocks and go. Then there was a discussion about room points and the actual market spell, and so I looked it up, and it's got a 1 hour casting time. I go, okay, they did not cast it here, but it's got a duration of 8 weeks. And you actually cast it on the stakes, because the stakes designate the area of the market. So I figured, okay, previously to the adventure, he had cast, upwards of maybe even 6-8 weeks ago, cast market on these market stakes, and so it it's good until the spell runs out. And the area right now is, well, when they're all tied together, is 0 space until they stake it out. That's how I interpret it anyway. So after that little discussion, I said, okay, we're going to pull stakes, and we are getting out of here. So they pull the stakes up, and then get out, and they're heading back towards the pathway we went up to the bridge, which is to the northeast. The whole ravine kind of runs that direction, northeast to southwest. And we discussed a little bit about how down here at the bottom of the ravine, the stream has decreased, and so it's kind of a winding deal. And talked about again about the door they found on the other side and the 2 caves on this side. And so they're traveling along the ravine towards the other cave entrance, the one they initially went into the first time. That's the cave entrance they're heading towards. And as they get there, I have them make some listening rolls, and then I have the troll party that's in there actually keeping watch for these raiding humans. There's 2 trollkin, 2 giant beetles, and a dark troll. So I have the trolls, make rolls for listening to hear if they hear anything out front, and I also make them have them make move quietly rolls to see how quiet they are inside. None of them made a listening roll, and 2 of them failed their quiet roll, and so outside the party, a couple people made their listen roll, and so okay, there's somebody inside this cave entrance moving around. You can hear leather creaking and a chinkling of some armor maybe, and some movement of people. So they decide the party should be small enough that we should be able to take them on, and that will again decrease the number of trolls around. Previously, they also discussed about how how many trolls are there going to be here, and one of the players, I had them roll Elder Race lore, and I interpreted that since it's just Elder Race lore, not Elder Race blank lore, that it's just generic Elder Races kind of thing. And one of them made a special success. So we talked about birth troll rates and how that all works out. And with the one party that they had run into out in the woods earlier, how many were there, and they figured it's probably about a half dozen dark trolls down here with 3 times that of trollkin. Now there may have been some of those already killed off, because when they first came down, there's that group of trolls and trollkin that were out in front of the cave entrances that they killed, except for 2 trollkin escaped, and then they tied up 1 trollkin and 1 troll. which they just left there, so they're free around somewhere. But they kind of figure, oh, that's a lot of trolls to be sticking around for. But as they're going by this cabin, going, if the troll parties broke into 4, going the cardinal directions when they were searching for the humans, that, you know, maybe whatever's inside this cave is something we can handle. And so they attack. But they wanted to set up so they're just outside the cave entrance, so it becomes a funnel. The cave entrance is a funnel, they can only get 2 abreast kind of thing. The troll sends the giant beetles up first, and so the cave entrance is blocked by these 2 giant beetles. They got 2 troll coming on either side who are slinging sling stones into and through melee. And then there's the dark troll in the back. Well, he doesn't really have any ranged weapons. I mean, he's got sling, but it's not very good. Excuse me while I move forward. Looks like I'll just stop right here so people can get around and by. Okay, so they have this melee going on. Trollkin are slinging stones. The dark troll is casting Demoralize. And then the party sets up. They got Damakti and Colin, who's a heavy fighter, noble, up in front. And they got the 2 spearmen behind doing 2 hex jab kind of thing. And then they got 2 hunters, which are both archers, in the back trying to shoot through melee. So we had a discussion about shooting into melee, how that all works, how you divide chance to hit by the number of people in the melee, and then that's your chance to hit who you want to hit. And if it's between that percentage and your actual percentages, then you hit somebody and then you roll random to see who it is. But in discussing the fact that what we have in front are giant beetles, and in back we've got a troll, a dark troll, that if they made a headshot, then the only melee participants they'd worry about are the troll, and where they have positioned themselves, one of their own party who's engaged with the beetles there. So melee ensues. They hit the troll once in the head, 2 points, ping, didn't do anything. The troll gets a Demoralize out on one of the hunters, Subutai, and so he misses, or the power works on him, so he gets demoralized, and at that point the odds are in the troll's favor, so Subutai takes off. The last line of Demoralize says, if they're outnumbered, they flee or surrender. Not really a surrender situation, but flee, yeah, we can do that. So he takes off. They managed to put one of the stone beetle. All the humans are all fighting one stone beetle, and he goes down after a couple of shots to the abdomen. And they, so he goes down, but he's still chopping from the bottom. He's able to make a couple of attacks, and puts down the Hamakti. The Hamakti pulls herself back, does a heal on herself, and then eventually gets back into the foray. When the beetle's down, the Hamakti's out of the way. Faran gets critically hit right through his shield. Oh, it's Colin gets critically hit. I mean, there's no, it had to be Faran. Oh, maybe it was a special on Faran. And he ends up going down. I think it was an abdomen shot, and he actually goes negative in his abdomen. So they have they pull him back and do first aid to stop the bleeding, and then start doing healing 2 on him to get him back up. Then at that point, the lone archer Hearth is essentially just shooting at the troll, because the beetle in front of him is down and all the players have shifted to one side, and gets him in the leg and puts him down to the special. And the troll is in the back, can't really do much. They keep attacking the beetle. The beetle keeps attacking back. Ends up biting. No, that's not right. The Hamakti gets up, comes forward. The Dark Troll casts Demoralize again. Works on her. Again, they're outnumbered, so she takes off as well. At that point, Hearth starts shooting at the beetle. Gets a special in the head. It goes down unconscious. So I think, okay, we've got it. We can do this. We can do this. When a sling stone comes out and nails Hearth in the leg and puts him down. So now they're starting to get a bit worried again. Something happened. Colin got hit before, so he's down. And if you're okay, that's it. Oh no, not yet. Have them make some listening scan rolls. There's something inside the cave coming forward. Something big. Okay, we got to pull out. If more Dark Trolls are coming, we have got to pull out. So Lars, who is actually very strong, lifts up Colin, fireman carry wise, and Colin actually gone below 0 total hit points. And while the rules are written, if you hit I think it's a 0, or you hit 2 or 3 hit points, you go unconscious, and if you hit 0, you're dead. I hate that kind of weirdness. So you go unconscious when you hit 0. If you got 1 hit point, you're still conscious, right? So if you go 0, you go unconscious, and then I have currently the rule is you're bleeding out like if you hit the abdomen below double, 1 around. My concept is you go till you're con, and then your spirit leaves the body. That seems like an awfully long time though. So what I'm thinking is I may adjust either the amount of bleeding that you do when you go unconscious on hit points, or shrinking the number of hit points you need to go negative before the spirit leaves the body. The shaman does 2 points of healing on Colin to stop the bleeding. Lars has him up on his shoulders, and Hearth uses a rune point to do heal wounds on himself, brings both his legs back up, and the party takes off. After a round of movement, they're going at half speed because Lars is carrying the body. Thrawn wanted to try to help him, and well, he can't really. Maybe a little bit, so I'll give him a bonus on movement that way. But after a round of movement, have him make some scan rolls. A couple of them make it, and sure enough, this Dark Troll comes out of the cave entrance, is looking at him. And that's where we ended the session. A couple of tech issues we had. Michael and my new players, power went out in his house, so we tried using a MiFi and then his phone, but it just was not working. So he was out nearly the entire game. He got power back in his house towards the end of the session, so he took over for playing Lars and a couple of NPCs, because Lars had to leave early. We started early because Lars and Isaac had to leave early too, but Isaac ended up not playing. He had a family event that popped up on him, so that happens. But Bruce, the player, is running Chaosium games at PazioCon, so he had to leave early from our game. But Michael, his power came back on, so he got back in, but his character had already left. He got demoralized, so he helped facilitate some of the NPCs and Lars and that kind of thing. But other than that, all in all, I thought the session went really well. I was pleased with how well things actually how they went. Trying to deal with new rules and explain things as we go along actually went fairly quick. There's a couple times, if you watch the live play, it's in the description, you'll see where it's kind of blanking out as I'm looking stuff up and trying to figure things out in my head as I'm looking stuff up, and how do I interpret rules and that kind of thing. But all in all, success. Now I actually had a plan, because at the end of the last session when they staked up those sorry stakes, I had understood they were going to stay there. I want to say some people were hurt and they needed to heal up, that kind of thing. But that wasn't completely captured for this session. So I had a plan for what was going to happen. And I'm not just going to straight out TPK. There's some politics going on that they don't know about. So I had an answer for things going on, but that was all bypassed. So now I've got to readdress how they're going to react to what just occurred. Anyway, happy gaming. We'll see how well this video works out.